Good morning. Welcome to another episode of SJU. It is Tuesday, right? Tuesday. It's a day. It's one of those days. We've got Spencer Gilbert. We have Vanessa Gritton. Hello, Vanessa.
Hello.
Looking like my favorite street tough in a 90s cartoon. And we've got Dan Murrell.
I'm a dance with a talking cat.
It's very exciting.
You look like you bully Blossom.
Look, someone had to. That kid was way too confident.
Someone needed to call Blossom out.
Yeah, finally, someone. So we've got some great stories today. We're going to be talking about the new Jurassic World animated series. We're going to go into talking about some other animated series that are coming up. We're going to talk about some fan questions. Dan's going to get some stuff off of his chest. We're all very excited. So to start off with, there has been announced via Variety and Netflix that there is a new Jurassic World animated series. It's going to be by DreamWorks. The animated series is titled Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous. It's coming to Netflix. I know. We'll get there.
I didn't know that.
Cretaceous.
Sorry. Thank you. Those are completely different things.
The SpongeBob crossover.
No, I did. I was because we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that too. But that's going to be coming to Netflix in 2020. And so the series is set in the 2015 Jurassic World timeline. It revolves around 6 kids banding together after an adventure camp on the other side of Isla Nublar goes wrong because dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So that's about as could be expected. It's going to be by the Kung Fu Panda people. What are you guys thinking about any of this so far? It looks,
Honestly, a few different details sold me, namely the fact that it's behind the same people behind Kung Fu Panda, and every single one of those movies are deeply underrated and kind of perfect on their own.
Tell me about this.
Have you seen the Kung Fu Panda movies?
I have. I haven't seen the same ones you have, apparently.
Okay.
But I would like to know more about what you just said.
I just want to say, I'm just taking my platform here to say it's a great movie showing that families can come from all kinds of spaces, even if your dad is a crane.
Even if your dad is a crane.
Yep.
Yeah. It's that new December's album, The Crane Dad.
My father was a crane. Taught me kung fu in a temple.
I like that that's the direction you went, because I went lineman and Glenn Campbell in my head. My father was a craneman for the county.
Deep cuts. We've lost our entire
And we've lost everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Guys, we
Negative
do know music. Okay, bye. But yeah, so that was something that made you excited for these.
Yeah, and in general, just the dinosaur part of it. Dinosaurs. No, growing up as a kid, I feel like I had significantly more options when it came to like dinosaur-based media, because it's such a cool thing as a kid, where it's like this thing that used to exist on screen and you're playing with it, and I've wanted that for this generation, and I think the idea of like a summer camp gone away is chef kiss.
I agree. I do think that we're wasting time, federal regulators, breaking up banks and tech firms. We should be breaking up the Jurassic Park that has a monopoly on dinosaur franchises. What happened to Dinobots? What happened to the Dinosaurs Attack playing cards that were super gory and awesome? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Yeah, they would like eat the president and like his face would be ripped off and it'd be like, because that's what a dinosaur attack would really look like. That's the reality that I like to see. Look, this is clearly for children. You don't have a subtitle like Camp Crustacean and not have it be
Camp Cretaceous.
Whatever.
One is shrimp, the other one is dinosaurs.
How am I the one fighting for the accuracy of Jurassic
I just
World?
feel like children and dummies are already very well served by the Jurassic World movies. We don't let's give us other flavors of dino. Dan, what do you think?
I agree that the Jurassic franchise should not have a monopoly on dinosaur-based media. The other thing is that Hollywood is everyone in the city is a fraud. And I'm not excluding present company.
Thank you.
And I love how like every 20 to 30 years, like some junior executive or some big shot dreams up an idea. It's just like, I'm going to make an animated series from one of today's hit movies. Yeah, they did that 30 years ago for every movie. It's not an original idea.
Ghostbusters had an animated series.
Ghostbusters, Teen Wolf, Beetlejuice, Police Academy, RoboCop,
Bill
and Ted, Back to the Future. They all had animated series. So it's not
Even
like
Kid
some...
and Play had one.
Yes,
they did.
Even Kid and Play had one. Wayne Gretzky had an animated series.
And Michael Jordan and Bo Jackson.
Yes.
Get them all.
MC Hammer had an animated series. The shoes were magical, and that's how he could
I
dance.
remember that one.
MC Hammer had his own animated television show.
You should look it up because the what's glorious about it is the intro song, one of those ones that explains the whole plot.
Sure.
And he raps it, but he clearly spent like 30 seconds before he went on camera writing this rap. It's amazing, and I implore everyone to look that up.
My point being that congratulations to whomever is cashing in on this, because I'm sure that they are selling it as like, this is an innovative new idea. We're going to do a TV show based on a hit movie franchise. Like, well, yeah, it's just things go out of style and come back in style all the time. Yeah, sure, whatever. It's fine. And the kids like it. It's another way Universal can cash in on the IP more. And at this point, you can't drag it through the mud or into the ground anymore. It's both muddy and deep in the ground. Yeah. So.
The curious thing to me about, like, I guess story-wise, is they always make great use of children as bait for the dinosaurs in all the films.
Yeah.
Like, how? But the adults always die. Are we gonna lose plausibility when that happens every single episode? Like, because this is centering on a summer camp full of kids. Are we going to eat any kids on this,
I'm going to
island?
predict that there's not going to be any kid eating. I'm also going to predict that if I watch it at least 4 times, I'm going to go, why don't you guys just leave the island?
Yeah. Right.
Why don't you just leave the island?
Where are your parents?
Where are your parents?
Is no one looking for you?
The number one question of any kid show, where's an adult?
Yeah. Somebody phone a grown-up.
I mean, I have a design nitpick, which is that still image that they showed of the gate, and this is me being a literal gatekeeper, because I'm gonna talk about this gate, which is that is the Jurassic Park gate. The Jurassic World gate was a different gate. You can't put Jurassic World on the gate that said Jurassic Park. And no,
because this is contemporary with Jurassic World, but I guess they kept.
That's the Jurassic Park logo. They're putting Jurassic World because that's the current iteration of the IP, but they're still cashing in on the nostalgia from these kids' parents, because that's the Jurassic Park logo. That's the Jurassic Park colors. That's the Jurassic Park gate. But they got to put World on it, just like the ride. They're just gonna reskin it and say it's something new because they can cash in on that. Sweet nostalgia.
Super dark in universe, because this is a camp that they put on Isla Nublar, which was like where like a horrible murder.
Several of them.
Other side of the island.
It's fine, you guys. The murders happened on the other side of the island.
Well, again, like there was I always wanted to see the kids that watch the RoboCop animated series and then watch the movie.
No.
Yeah. This is my favorite cartoon, and then it's just like I'm melting. People's heads getting blown off. So that was like 70% of a comedy bit. I know that they do. Whatever, it's fine. Just trying to be funny.
And then you're anticipating the backlash.
I heard the comments in real time. Like, yes, I know it's whatever. It's a cartoon. It's but still, they are cashing in on nostalgia. That is true.
Yeah,
it's 100% true.
Absolutely.
But then so is everybody else.
So is everybody else. And then, as you mentioned, they are going to be opening up the Jurassic World, the ride, which is opening up sometime this summer at Universal Studios. It's going to be replacing the other Jurassic Park ride. We do have. Yeah, sorry.
That one.
When was the last time you rode it?
It was broken last time I went to Universal.
Yeah, same.
It has been broken every time. I ride that ride a lot. We go to Universal Studios for Hollywood Horror Nights. I went for the 25th anniversary of Jurassic Park thing last summer. I love that ride. I'm sad to see it go. That ride was so busted.
So busted. So constantly broken.
There were things that they just stopped fixing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they just gave up on years ago.
Like the
Dilophosaurus.
The Dilophosaurus didn't have the wiggle it used to.
Didn't have the wiggle. That Jeep that was supposed to come crashing down the side of the building. You still heard it come crashing down the side of the building, but it was just like perched on the side. Didn't fall. They gave up on that ride years ago. I hate to see it go, but if they're not going to fix it, they put it out of its misery.
But they're just going to replace it with like you put on some 3D glasses and you're in a Jeep that doesn't move and it just shakes you around while Chris Pratt goes, "Oh, look over there! It's another raptor!"
Well, it's still a drop ride, but from what I read, that they're doing it sort of like the King Kong thing, where they're enclosing part of it so that it's a video screen and you're like underwater in the Mosasaurus tank, and then but then you have to go up and
I hope
go
the
over a
tech
waterfall.
has got better since the Fast and Furious one that they do.
That's my favorite thing.
Vin Diesel is the same size as a helicopter.
My favorite one. I got stuck on that ride with my niece for like 15 minutes. So it was the actual tour guide trying to like vamp about Fast and the Furious, but she ran out at minute 10. So she was just like really running on fumes for 5 minutes about that whole franchise.
Where's Tyrese? He wasn't busy. He could have figured it out. So talking about animated series, there's going to be more of them coming out, especially on Netflix. We've got the Magic the Gathering series, which is it's not written by the Russos, but they are helping to curate it. There's also, your BoJack Horseman's, Big Mouth, F is for Family, Disenchantment. Marvel's got a bunch coming out. So with all of these new ones, there's even, and this is why I got mixed up earlier, there is a new SpongeBob prequel series coming out. That one is also set at camp. Okay. That is at Camp Coral with 2 Ks.
Coral. Okay. All right.
I'm so
sorry,
happy.
it's a nervous tick that Dan and I have from watching Walking Dead.
What's he Walking Dead? Coral.
So, and that one is going to be SpongeBob at camp, at day camp, and it's going to be
like a baby SpongeBob,
like a 10-year-old SpongeBob and CG.
Oh. I just went through 2 emotions.
Yeah. And so it looks like, again, as you said, they're going to be taking a lot of these IPs, and they're going to be, some of them are going to be adapting them. Do you think at a certain point we are going to start hitting that wall where people start noticing all of the things that you were talking about earlier?
Yeah, because it happened. It already happened. It happened 30 years ago. It's just that they spun off everything into an animated series, and then people got sick of them, and then they stopped making them.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So that'll happen again. And then 20 years from now, maybe I'll be in a position to somehow cash in and think up this idea like it was my idea and then sell one, because that's how it works. Yeah. Things go away for 30 years, and then somebody like has a brilliant idea to do again something that was done. We talked about rom-coms, like the new things is like rom-coms are the hottest craze in Hollywood right now. Like, yeah, they were 20 years ago, and then people got sick of them and they stopped going, and then they went away and now they're back. It's not rocket science, but people in Hollywood want you to think that it is, so that they can inflate their importance.
Look at this new thing I made up. Yeah. It's a cartoon about camp. we did it.
Salute your animated shorts. I would watch that.
I would watch that. I love that show. That show I thought was always underrated. So when you are adapting an IP to an animated series, what are some things you guys think can make them work and make it stand on its own, so it isn't just about the original? One thing that often happens is obviously characters that are more menacing wind up, taking front play. Like in Beetlejuice, all of a sudden it's the fun adventures of him and Lydia.
Beetlejuice. Like,
I'll do your homework.
Just honking his crotch and just using the F-bomb. That's not. And now he's a Saturday morning
cartoon star. He tried to marry a small lady, and
against her will.
She tortured a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now they're best friends, and they go on wacky adventures. What's that snake gonna do? Who knows?
I mean, I don't know. The stuff you threw out there that like Netflix is doing, it doesn't really. It falls in a lot of different categories for me, because things like BoJack Horseman, Big Mouth, I assume F is for Family. Never watched that one. That's for grown-ups and the juvenile inside of us. Like that's like adult entertainment.
Yeah. Same with like a Tuca and Birdie, which I love, and I feel like not enough people are talking about. I will spoil one thing: there are plant boobs, so just be ready.
Okay.
I'm in. I'm sold.
Just be.
That's all I needed.
Can't milk a plant.
Now you can.
I think that like adult animation is like a really fun place to expand on, and it seemed like that always gets like quote unquote like big ratings for Hulu and I imagine for Netflix too. Like people mostly watch Family Guy on Hulu is like one of their stats that they came out with.
Yeah.
So clearly there's an appetite for that, and the kid stuff like. Based on IPs, I don't know. I guess it's a good gateway drug to the thing that you like, because the parents get to choose what the kids watch a lot of the time. Like, all right, Jurassic World, like, sure, let's throw that on.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be too picky when it comes to kid stuff, because it's usually bad. But I do miss that era of like original 2D animation. Like, will we ever get another SpongeBob?
No, we did.
Because
I'm actually going to defend the fact that kids animation wasn't bad for the last few years. We've had regular show, we've had Adventure Time.
That's true. Steven Universe.
We've had Steven
but
Universe.
Those are original, and these are all like, let's take what was happening before Adventure Time.
Yeah.
The series. In CG at camp.
I think a really good
Camp Adventure Time?
Yeah.
Camp Adventure Time. Shh. You could sell that idea for $5 million.
keep it.
Oh my god. Who can we pitch this to right now?
Copyright in 2019. Does that work? I don't know. Does any of that work?
I'm gonna go with aliens, and they're all at camp. The face huggers have not learned how to hug yet, so they are.
I'd watch that.
Yep.
Yeah, give me some other. Pitch me some other ones. What's another one?
Was there an Aliens animated series, Ryan? I think there was. Have you
might have
checked
been.
on that?
Oh, damn.
I know there were toys.
Camp Nostromo, and
Camp
it's like
Nostromo.
the crew, but they're all babies, and they hug each other's faces.
All right,
that's sweet.
little Hellraisers,
Yeah. Oh,
like Muppet babies.
I like it.
Pincushion.
God, I already want this.
Operations Aliens was a canceled 1992 animated
There you
series
go.
about the film Aliens.
Operation Aliens. Yep.
Done.
There you go.
Thank you, fandom.com.
Thank you, fandom.com.
Fandom.com.
Yep.
Synergy.
They had the Men in Black also did that. So I'm going to pitch one right now. I'm going to say Honest Trailer Babies. That's going to be our new one.
We'll get there eventually.
We're getting there. We're writing it down. So speaking of Honest Trailers and all of us, we are Fandom Entertainment. We are Screen Junkies Universe, but we are also Fandom Entertainment now. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications, and you can get all of our stuff when it comes out. Y'all, I know you're excited. Some of you have already noticed. We have new Honest Game trailers on the newly named Fandom Games. Go check that out. I know you've all been looking forward to it. You can check out the first new one. It is for Anthem. You can also watch all of the old Honest Game trailers as they have been moved onto the Fandom Games channel, which was formerly Curse Entertainment. The link for that is in the description down below. So that is very exciting. I know everyone's been asking us about those.
Yes. Which is odd, like for me, because I've never. I don't know. Like I always have to be like, I don't do them. I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, Dan, they're back.
They're
And
back.
The people have clamored, and we're super happy with the first batch, and it's the same crew, new whole platoon of voiceover artists for different games. We're gonna match them with different voices. So a lot of fun things in the offering.
Oh, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
Special
Oh, I'm sorry. There's 2 next week for E3 because
E3?
Because
we love you.
Because E3 takes over everything. All right, so we're going to get to some fan questions, but first, Dan had some things that he would like to talk about.
Yes. Well, I think we in general we're just like, let's have a soapbox moment. I
Yeah.
have a bone to pick with NBC News. As you know, and this is spoilers for Jeopardy. If
Take
you have
down
not
that liberal
watched
media.
Jeopardy, if you have not watched Jeopardy this week, then spoilers. I'll wave back when we're done. But yeah, last night I was sitting waiting for a movie to start that you'll see us review tomorrow night. I know it's weird. That's no tonight at 10 o'clock.
All right.
You'll see a review for a movie drop because that's when they said we can review it. But I'm sitting in the theater waiting to watch the movie. It's Jeopardy here on the West Coast in Los Angeles airs at 7 p.m. It's over at 7:30. I was sitting. It's going through the NBC News app shortly before the movie started, and it's 7:34. I looked at my clock. 7:34. They spoiled what happened on Jeopardy yesterday, which usually that's fine, except like there's this guy James, who has been like this phenomenal like Jeopardy success. Like he was going to break potentially yesterday the all-time Jeopardy winnings record, and he was winning at a rate like never seen before in the show. He was an absolute phenomenon. And again, spoiler alert, don't listen if you don't want to know. He lost yesterday. The day he was going to break the record, he lost. He lost to somebody. It happens, but. At 7:34, 4 minutes after the show ends on the West Coast here in LA, I see the headline on NBC News. It wasn't like a huge happening on Jeopardy today, which is its own kind of spoiler. It was like, new Jeopardy champ is America's favorite librarian. I was like, what?
Oh, no.
Frolic you, NBC News. Like, some of us don't get it. I know you're based in New York and you think the world lives and dies on Eastern time, but there's some of us here on the Pacific, in the West Coast, like, you couldn't wait like 2 hours, 3 hours at least. Like,
I have an alternate explanation, Dan.
I wasn't on Twitter. This is a mainstream news source. You can't spoil Jeopardy like that. It was vindictive. It was vindictive. is what it
Pull
was.
out of the rain. NBC News.
Yes,
What channel is Jeopardy on?
it's syndicated,
ABC.
and in a lot of markets it's on ABC.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that. All right, theory retracted. For me,
I think it's largely on ABC.
I think this is like a little shot at their competitor. Like, don't bother watching Jeopardy. We're going to tell you right now.
Well, that's still shitty. I'm sorry. You're playing corporate politics with my Jeopardy enjoyment, and I don't appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I know that we have this whole thing about spoiling. You don't do that. That shows and honestly, I think it shows that people don't care about spoilers for some things, because like those same sites like NBC News, like I've seen them, they're just like a spoiler warning for Game of Thrones, click here. Like they go out of their way to not spoil some things, but like Jeopardy is a daily appointment viewing thing in our house. We love to sit down and watch Jeopardy, and luckily Mara didn't see it, and so she wasn't spoiled by it. But it's like just because you saw it in New York 3 hours ago, it doesn't mean that everyone in the country got a chance to see it. They posted it. It was probably up before Jeopardy was even over on the West Coast.
Oh, yeah.
It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to the loyal Jeopardy viewer that maybe didn't want to know what happened yesterday.
Exactly.
Because it took some of the oomph out of it. So NBC News, shame on you for spoiling Jeopardy. I understand that you don't care, and most people don't care, but I care. It's real to me, damn it. And I did not appreciate being spoiled on yesterday's Jeopardy. So, tisk.
Tisk.
You've been tisked. Yeah.
Ooh, tisk you. All right, we're going to get into some fan questions now that we've gotten. Thank you very much, Dan,
Yes,
for
thank
sharing
you.
that with
I
us.
had to get that
and
off my chest.
Yeah.
I'm not happy about that.
All right, our first fan question comes from the incredible Mulk. I know, right? It's great. Do you have any hobbies that you only tried out because you saw it in a movie? Is there anything that you tried out specifically because you saw it in a movie, or like any sports? Or is there anything that you became interested in? I think I took up knitting once because I saw it in a movie.
Ghost busting.
Ghost busting?
Yeah,
That is
sure.
a hobby?
Amateur ghostbuster.
Yeah.
I mean, Sandlot was a very big influence on me for Little League. Of like, baseball. I should play that. But like hobbies, I feel like characters don't have hobbies really.
Like, I took up paper mache because of Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Because it opens with the paper mache house scene, and I was like, that looks like fun. I haven't done paper mache in a while, and then I tried it, and it's so much harder when you're not in like a clean classroom and instead a tiny apartment in Los Angeles.
Wait, how long ago was this?
2 weeks ago. I do stuff like that all the time. Like, anytime same thing with knitting. I'll see something in a movie and be like, oh man, that seems like something fun that I haven't tried before, and then I try it, and then I loathe it. I will learn someday.
Do you still have paper mache mess all over your apartment now?
I have not entered my home for 2 days because I don't want to look at it. My dinner table is disgusting.
Very
Take
nice.
care of itself. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
take care of
Give
itself.
it another couple days.
Chisel it off.
I took up the drums for 6 months after seeing That Thing You Do. Because it looked cool.
Yeah.
And it probably would have been cool, except I have no natural rhythm or coordination whatsoever. I was the world's most hopeless drum student. My teacher wasn't great either, in retrospect. I probably might have been a little more successful with a better teacher. But yeah. That's the only one I can think of. And I saw That Thing You Do, and I was like, that looks awesome. I want to be the drummer. And then it
After
did
6
not work
months,
out.
were you like, I quit? Or you were like, I quit. Yeah. I quit.
Exactly.
Not meant for this. I tried taking up guitar for the same reasons.
Same.
That
Everyone
Thing You
looks-
Do?
Well,
Everyone on the
nothing
table.
you do.
It's a very influential movie, Spencer.
Wow.
Scott Pilgrim. Wanted to take up the guitar because of Scott Pilgrim, because even then I was like, it's still cooler than the bass. And I learned I do not have hands for string instruments.
No, hard same.
Because they do this, and I can't touch a guitar.
Whoa.
Yeah, gross, right?
That's got to be good for something.
Haven't found it yet. But yeah.
Video games, I think after I saw The Wizard,
Oh, yeah.
that was a big one.
Yeah.
If Super Mario 3 counts as a hobby, then yes.
Well, it has to. I have no other hobbies. We've talked about this. I've made every one of my hobbies my job, which is like great, but now I need to actually get a new hobby.
Yeah.
This is something, have you found one yet? Because I know this was something we talked about.
Yeah, no. Well, no, Lego. We like to do Legos.
Okay, that's great.
We do Lego now, just because it's just a fun activity to do. Yeah, well, I still have fun going to the movies and stuff,
Yeah,
but it
of
is
course.
much more
Enjoy it.
tied to stuff that I either do for work or like schmodown stuff. You know, sometimes we watch stuff for fun, but yeah, like outside of movies, we do Lego, and that's a lot of fun.
That's nice. Any hobbies?
No. No. My wife got me an early Father's Day present of a grill, so I'm looking forward to becoming
Nice.
Yeah, grill dad.
grill dad incoming. I assembled the grill this weekend. I'll update you with my progress.
I cannot wait to see the aprons. I'm so
that'll be
ready.
heavy in the apron game.
I assumed when you had a child, and this just shows my ignorance about parenthood, I assumed that when you had a child, when you became a father, you
with a
just
grill.
came home from the hospital and there's just a grill in the backyard. Like the stork dropped off the grill.
It didn't
too.
take long. It took a few months, and yeah, we're grilled. We're grilling,
Oh
baby.
man, I love that you're falling down a grill hole. I can only dream that for my future.
Any hobbies that, besides wrecking your entire apartment?
Yeah, actually, I just started collecting VHSs. I wanted to do something that no one will ever ask me to talk about that's just mine. And anytime I start talking about it, people very quickly just get real bored on their faces.
I think you found your venue, though. If there's
Yeah.
anything you want to share, this is maybe the only sympathetic audience.
Yeah. Well, it's cheap, which is great. It's a
really
great
cheap.
cheap hobby.
It's a great cheap hobby. I've started really like loving finding the ones that are like video store specific, where it's just like Blockbuster exclusive, and those are like $3, so that's been really fun. The other thing is trying to find a TV VHS combo has been frustratingly difficult.
Hey, it's full of them.
They're like more expensive than I thought they would be, and I think it's because there's another collecting boom again. So I've just been wandering old apartment building alleys, just like, anybody throwing out a VHS TV combo?
Wow.
If they waited till 2019.
I don't want to pay.
Yeah.
See, now that is why you were dressed like a street tough from the 90s. Except instead of looking to buy drugs, you were looking to
Hey,
buy
give me a TV.
TV. Well, this actually brings us, I'm going to skip around here a little bit because Megan did ask who still buys physical media and if they've upgraded old DVDs to new Blu-rays.
Dan, you do.
I do. I have a problem. I have completed upgrading everything that is available that I had on DVD to Blu-ray. I now have everything. But there are some movies, shockingly, you cannot find on Blu-ray that I still have on DVD. What about Bob? Dogma. True Lies.
Wow.
Man on the Moon. All movies that are not widely available on Blu-ray just got lost in the shuffle, or they came out once and then they pulled them and it's like $300 to get them. So there's a lot that they still have to bring up. But yeah, I have a problem with physical media. I bought because they're cheap right now. They're way cheaper than they used to be. So I'm like, Liar for $5?
Why not?
Sure. I like that movie, or at least I did the last time I watched it 15 years ago. Well, let's go out on a limb. Yeah. So yeah, I do collect physical media, and I have a real problem with it. But whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, I've got like a small stack, like a half stack of pancakes worth of Blu-rays and DVDs. It's like Criterion Collection stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is pretty, and I want to see the special features, and like a few things that I just don't think will ever be available any other way, like Wonder Shows and all of that. And like some weird Japanese battle royale in Japanese, and like some stuff that's just, that's cool to look at, but. Nah, man. Digi.
Oh, did you? So,
digi.
Have you started getting any of the new 4K ones, or?
If the price is right, like the jump from DVD to Blu-ray is obvious. Like, as far as just like it's night and day the difference in picture quality.
Yeah.
But I have a few HD 4K movies, and I mean they look great, but the difference in picture, and I'm sure like Adam Hlavik will probably his head will explode if he hears this, because I know he's like super into like the differences, and it's like if that's great for people that like appreciate the difference, but like the difference is not great enough for me to say like I'm gonna pay $15 more for this movie, or like if I can get a movie on Blu-ray for $5 and if it's on 4K for $20, like I'll buy the $5 Blu-ray, because like for me the difference isn't that much.
Yeah, and like I'll buy Blu-ray, I'll buy VHS, I still buy CDs, but I haven't purchased 4K because of the price of 4K, and also a lot of streaming services are currently offering things in 4K streaming that I can do for the additional price of what I'm paying monthly, as opposed to paying for it on its own. when I'd rather get like a Blu-ray of a release that maybe might not be on Netflix or Hulu that I particularly like.
Yeah, so one thing I want, because I'm all digital, I've just moved around too much that I'm done lifting boxes I don't need to lift.
You have to be ready to flee at any moment.
Look, at any moment, something could go down, and we all
Robert
know.
De Niro and Heat.
Yeah.
Look, I've got half a back as it is already. I'm not moving around anything else. But one thing I did want to mention, because we've mentioned a couple of things where they're really difficult to find, a lot of things that haven't come out yet, and I always want to make sure that I plug these guys. Back home in Seattle, there is an amazing, amazing video rental place, physical media, called Scarecrow Video. And they have, I'm pretty sure, the best collection of physical media in the country.
Amazing.
And of course, people with streaming, they stopped being super viable, so they turned themselves into a nonprofit. It is essentially as if you walk into a mansion and every room is one genre. So downstairs they'll have some things, and then you'll go and it'll be like, this is the anime room, and this is the action adventure room, this is the French films room, this is,
Very smoky in there.
very smoky. You walk in and it's just a lady like smoking and breathing it into your face. That's what you like to get today. So I always want to, I believe they have like a book app that tells everything they have. They have stuff there that's so rare that you have to put out a deposit in order to get it.
Wow.
Yeah, like old
Okay.
VHSs that you can't get, stuff that's super out of print. So I always want to make sure that I big up them for the people who are big fans of physical media. If you are ever in Seattle and you want to kind of go to like a mecca, you have to make sure that you check out Scarecrow Video because they are amazing. All right, so switching back, Jeffrey would like us to know, at the concession stand, popcorn or nachos? Or other, I guess.
That's a loaded question.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
but-
how hungry am I?
And where are you?
Yeah.
What concession? Movies? Popcorn. Nachos are a little unwieldy. I have nachos occasionally at the movies, but nachos are a little unwieldy for a movie. Plus,
It's
they're
really
loud.
dark. Like
Yes,
it's really
and it's-
dark to just be sticking your hand in
And
goo.
now they come in the plastic bag that you have to open. Like
It's
it used
such a
to
loud
be, you
movie
just got a
film.
hot plate of notch.
Yeah.
But now you gotta it's like a Lunchables. You have to
Yeah.
assemble it.
I actually witnessed the most hilarious movie theater disaster because of nachos that now I'm like team popcorn forever as much as I love them. Do you remember those old phones where they weren't quite the sidekicks, but you could like flip them open and type on them?
Yes.
Yeah.
My best friend in high school had one of those, and she finished texting, put her phone on silent, and put it in the cup holder, but didn't realize that in the cup holder was the thing of nacho cheese. So she dunked her phone in it, and because it had been sitting there the whole movie, I guess there's like a weird chemical reaction with
God.
like the stuff inside the phone and the cheese, but the cheese turned green.
What?
Awesome.
She didn't have a phone for like a year. So now I'm popcorn forever.
Yeah. But at a baseball game or a sporting event, nachos all day.
Yeah.
Nachos, hot
Sure.
dogs.
I don't get popcorn
Yeah.
at a baseball game. Like, that seems too low stakes.
No.
Yeah.
You gotta go bigger.
Yeah.
Do you get the one that comes in the helmet?
No,
yeah,
I don't.
yeah,
No.
yes.
I do.
Yes.
Oh, or the elote covered in hot Cheeto dust.
Well, sure. I mean, if you're lucky at a Dodger game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us
That's
about
not
this.
everywhere.
That's not everywhere. Not everyone knows about it.
I know it's not everywhere. But it's also one of the reasons I love living in Los Angeles is that at a Dodger game in a specific kiosk you can get corn that's like your regular elote, so like your Parmesan and your mayo and all that good stuff, but it's also like rolled in a layer of hot Cheeto.
Yeah, they have the whole thing at Dodger Stadium where like they have this slightly problematic station where it's like the Doyer dog.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Can I order this?
I'm leaning in.
It's literally called DOYER dog, and it's like a nacho cheese and pico de gallo like
Yeah.
hot dog. And I'm like, that's delicious. Should I just point to it?
Can you please not make me say that with my mouth?
Anytime someone sheepishly orders it, I get one free.
It's good stuff.
That's good stuff. I'm always, I like popcorn. I'm just kind of,
I love popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
Great movie snack.
Yeah, it
All
just
time.
depends on the venue. And nachos for me, I always it's not nachos unless it's in the plastic tray that you put down on the bleachers underneath you, so that if
Yeah.
you step on the tray, it flips up and gets the nacho cheese that's left on your pant leg. That is the full nacho experience for me.
but what about, when you go to one of your fancier places, because now it's not just, you say popcorn or nachos, but now at the fancier places, you'll be able to order basically full meals. Have you ever done that at one of those?
No, I mean I've seen it's happened next to me too much, and as like delicious as like the lobster bisque like smell wafting over from the Barca lounger next to me smells, like it's gross. Like I don't want. It's just like there's silverware clattering, and it like smells like I'm in downstairs in Downton Abbey, and it's distracting. Like don't
You just want to watch the movie. You don't want to watch
snacks.
Yeah.
It's not a place for you to have like a Caesar and like shrimp scampi and like
That's a little overboard.
Yeah.
We'll get sometimes like if it's an AMC dine-in, we'll get like a flatbread pizza, like
like
a
a chicken
split, like a
tender.
flatbread. Yeah,
chicken tender,
maybe
sure. Nice, quiet food.
sometimes that's a little too mealy for me. Chicken tenders. I still got.
But they're
Flatbread's just still a
handhelds.
snack.
Yeah.
I know.
A
it's
flatbread,
weird.
I have to eat at an angle. I can't flip a flatbread over. It's not that anymore. A chicken tender is a 360 experience.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get gift.
tendies for life.
It is.
And you did that to you.
I did that to me.
It is true. It is a 360 experience.
Yep.
Okay, so we've got one from Air Force Swan. Get it? Air Force Swan.
I like that. It's the Asylum Films spin-off of Air Force One. And they're doing like Snakes on a Plane rip-offs. Like, what if a swan got loose on Air Force One? Chasing Harrison Ford around? Get
off my plane.
Goose.
I saw a swan with an orange beak. It pecked my wife. It pecked my family.
Fund this. All right.
If you could theme your dream home after a film or TV show, what would you choose? They would build a replica of Arendelle Castle.
The Frozen
Good one.
place, right?
Cold, but
Chilly.
but pretty.
Yeah, it'd be very, very pretty. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Or
think.
is Arendelle? No, wait, no, that's not
No,
Elsa's
Arendelle.
castle.
No, that's not Elsa's. That's.
Oh, that's the Disney castle. Oh, gotcha.
I believe so.
Sure.
Someone in the comments will let us know how wrong we are, and I appreciate your hard work.
Oh man.
For me, honestly, any nice apartment from a 90s sitcom. Martin's
Cozy.
apartment was great.
Yeah.
I want so little.
Do you want a live studio audience?
Yes, it has to come with a live studio audience. It has to come with cue cards. I need the applause sign. I need some random night like earthquake or someone to come out and warm everyone up for me
Yeah.
before I get out of bed in the morning. Shuck-a-duck-a quack quack.
Some guy in a
Amazing.
unicycle like flipping plates onto his head.
Oh man, I'm already perfectly dressed to be your wacky neighbor.
Yep.
See?
Yeah.
Just open up the door and be like, "There's twins next door, Danielle. Twins." I spit all over you. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. It flew past me. It missed me. It's fine.
But there's twins on the line. All right.
What was the obsession with twins? You know what? That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
I just never got like
Twins? Is that what you're referring to?
twins. Like, what are you gonna do with two? Anyway, so are there any other ones that you guys can think of? Any?
The Hey Arnold room. For
what?
sure.
Yeah?
Anybody watch Hey Arnold? Okay, so he had
Ryan's got that. Ryan's very excited about it.
He had an automated room where it would open up panels over his skylight, and his couch flipped into the wall so that there was more space, and that was automated too. And he had a clock that looked like him and would say his own name to wake him up in the morning, and like a really cool little Murphy bed situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think because I've lived in so many small spaces, I can't think big enough to
No,
house.
same.
But I can think enough to where I'm like, what if my apartment all folded into itself so that I can have a room for activities, and then my like cozy stuff folded out of the walls.
Instead of getting a house with like 2 or 3 rooms in it. What if one room could
the
have...
reach of where my brain can go, or the house from Practical Magic.
Oh,
Okay.
That kitchen where they do the spells, but also margarita night in.
Margarita spells.
Nice.
Nice.
My head went to the Jackie Treehorn house in Big Lebowski, but that's a real house. Like you could go there. It's like the city of LA bought it. Like it's like a famous architectural like Lautner. Not the werewolf, the architect. Like the fancy architectural piece that you can hang out and take photos. So that's cool. I'd live there. Also, creepily enough, I'd live in the like Tyrell Corporation ziggurat from Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Just like
Right.
I feel like there's all sorts of like weird ambient lighting things I could do where I'd just like sit in a chair and there'd be like like ripples of light across my face, and like a giant shade would slowly lower, and then like I'd like enter. That's the vibe I want.
That's the vibe. Yeah, it's a nice little vibe.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people like houses and stuff. But like a house, especially if it's like just two people, like or two or three maybe, it's like that's a lot of space. And
Yeah.
wherever you go, it's a lot of unused space. But yeah, I've been watching a lot of. Strangely, this year there have been a few Atlanta-based comedies. Little was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
What Men Want was another one that I just recently watched.
Georgia Tax Breaks.
Yeah, Georgia Tax Breaks. But-
I'm seeing another theme as well.
and written by the same writer, both
Yeah.
of them. But in both of those movies, the lead characters had incredible apartments, like top floor, city view, sky to ceiling, floor to ceiling windows. Like hardwood floors, exposed brick, huge dining room, huge living room, the bedroom, big bathroom, deep tub, like. What more? Like a big outdoor terrace.
Yeah,
like, it's
that
like
place in
all-
Little is stupid.
It's so good. It's like all of the luxury with none of the upkeep. I think I almost might go that way because it's like it's great. I've got a lot of room. I got a
Yeah.
nice view. I can entertain. You got you probably put a pool out there or something.
It's like a BoJack situation.
yeah. Set yourself up with a nice, set yourself up with a nice apartment.
You
Don't
know
have to
we're
worry
old
about
because none of us are
land.
picking like fantasy things. We're just picking
Yeah.
like nice apartments.
Sir,
Yeah.
an actual house is a fantasy to our generation, especially in Southern California.
Yeah. Do you know how many times I've watched The Incredibles and been like, man, if I could just have a mid-century modern home, I want that more than I want to be stretchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the 90s when all the protagonists were sad that they had jobs and houses.
Oh.
Like, this isn't exciting enough. I gotta join a fight club.
Tired of this suburban life.
Yeah.
This American dream, this house and this family.
I'm getting too much
so
furniture and
bored.
it pisses me off. Society.
Oh, my couch is so great, and my 401k still exists. Oh, sad, sad, sad. Well, we're leaving you on a sad note here today. Life is a prison, even when you're happy. But make sure to bring it back on a happy note, we do have new Honest trailer out
Yeah.
today. So you can go and check that out. I was going to get there, Ryan.
Great.
We have a new Honest trailer out. Very excited. You can also see Honest trailer commentaries.
Air Force Swan.
Yeah. There's a review coming out tonight. I'm not joking. 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Set your alarm clocks because there'll be a movie review for Dark Phoenix coming out.
That's when
tonight.
the embargo drops.
The embargo for Dark Phoenix drops tonight,
And the
at
film
10
comes out-
p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Film comes out Thursday. Friday. Yeah.
Friday.
Thursday night.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
Good sign.
I can't say. I can't say. So.
That's not the review. The review will be out at 10. See you guys tomorrow. Go check out all of the things. This has been SJU. Bye.
Bye.